Hey everybody, I'm Larry and welcome back to the Movie Cranks. As you can see, I have an empty seat here tonight. Mike respectively declined my offer, my invitation to come see this movie tonight, and that's Lucy in the Sky.
Time to wrap it up.
Just a few more minutes.
And I really don't know where to start this one. I feel like it was complete false advertisement. First of all, this is not a sci-fi. This is a drama. I don't know if you've heard this story, but this is about an astronaut love triangle that occurred back in 2006. This is a true story. This lady, whose name was Lisa Nowak, who was an astronaut, was going through a bad divorce. And she started dating some other guy who was an astronaut who decided to break up with her. And her best decision that could be made at that time was to drive from Florida to Texas to kidnap and eventually murder his new girlfriend. And this actually probably would have made a really good comedy now that I think about it. I think Seth Rogen could have did a masterpiece with this. Because another rumor that she declines, she says didn't exist, was that she wore astronaut diapers.
When you get into the spacesuit, the first thing you do is you put on your diaper.
So she didn't have to stop for pee breaks and who knows what else. So this movie, I'm going to go ahead and probably compare it to a few sci-fis recently, like First Man, and of course Ad Astra that we just seen, which is the reason why there is no one here. But, you know, this isn't a sci-fi. But it is very similar, these two sci-fis that I've seen recently, as it's almost like a reverse of First Man. Where First Man slowly builds up, and then at the end you get the payoff, you get the moon shots, it looks beautiful, all the sci-fi. This one's almost in reverse. The first 5 minutes of this movie is gorgeous. You got the Earth, you got the space station, it looks great. And then they come back down to Earth. And for the next 2 hours, the movie smells its own farts. And I ain't gonna lie, Natalie Portman does a tremendous job. She's been around, she's like not even 40 yet. And she has been around the game for a couple decades now, and that's really impressive, and she always gives 110%. There's only a few movies out there that she's in that I go, she's not that good in. But for the most part, she's always giving 110%, overachieving, and she does the same thing here. And in the year 2019, year of the woman, and all the woman-led movies, I think this part could earn her an Oscar nom, honestly. Unfortunately, it's just a boring, dull movie. And then the movie goes down the path that all these movies have been going down recently, delving into mental illness and depression and all this good stuff that I don't need in my sci-fi movie. And that's where this one goes. As when she comes back, you know, they're talking about her having problems. They're talking about how zero G's could have an effect on the brain, which I personally don't think it really does. There's been people out there, and they've been in space for a year, and he came back and he was fine. I think the problem with some of these people who go to space is they see the world. They see how small and insignificant it really is. We just are a civilization on a little rock that's going around the sun, and there's all this other universe out there. And when they come back to the ground, they just feel insignificant. And I think this is the biggest problem. And they go in and they delve into all this, and it just goes on and on and on for hours. And that's probably the biggest problem I had with this movie. I was expecting so much more with these sci-fis this year. Ad Astra, now this. But let's talk about some of the other parts in here. We have John Hamm, who pretty much phones it in. He's John Hamm playing John Hamm, like he does in every other movie, but he's just John Hamm. Nothing special there. And that's pretty much what this movie is. It's hard to really explain it because it doesn't really go anywhere for 2 hours. And then you get a little bit of a payoff. But I kind of already knew the story. I knew, but he's just John Hamm. Nothing special there. And that's pretty much what this movie is. It's hard to really explain it because it doesn't really go anywhere for 2 hours. And then you get a little bit of a payoff. But I kind of already knew the story. I knew where this was going to go. I don't go to the movies to see a love triangle. When this was advertised, I went to the movie here tonight to see a sci-fi. I wanted space. I mean, I even wore my NASA shirt. I wanted this. This is what I want, okay, from a sci-fi. I mean, what happened? They were doing so well. They had Life. They had Gravity. They had these good sci-fis coming out that were exciting and fun to watch. They made your breathless to look at, and they just had the details. They had the details right. That's what you want to see in a sci-fi. And I'll even say Interstellar. I know when I first seen Interstellar, I wasn't too impressed. I thought it was a good movie, but again, like these movies, sometimes I felt like it smelled its own farts. It was a little slow burn and a little confusing. And the last with that whole little Matrix thing in the black hole, I was kind of like on the edge. I was like, I don't think I really like this. But over the years, it has grown on me a lot. I have watched this 2 to 3 times on cable, streaming, and I'm like, I like this movie. This movie has substance. This movie doesn't have substance. It goes from point A to point B. And at about let's just say it goes from point A to point C, because at about point B, I kind of tapped out. I was thinking to myself, you know what, I'm watching this movie, I'm taking it in, but I'm kind of just zoned out. In the end, it's a well-acted movie. Natalie Portman does a great job. If you like Natalie Portman a lot, she picks a lot of roles like this where they kind of just, like I said, they're smelling their own farts. If you like Natalie Portman, there's a good chance you may like this movie. I'm not sure. If you like Lifetime movies, if you like love triangles, if you like drama, which is what this movie is, not a sci-fi, you may like it. But don't go in expecting a sci-fi because you're not going to get it. On the other hand, I gotta be honest, it's a slow burn. It hurts. And like I said, I tapped out after about an hour. I can't give this movie a good score. I can't give it a bad score. But I will say I probably would see Ad Astra again before this one. So I'm going to go ahead and give Lucy in the Sky a D+. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming out and checking out my review for Lucy in the Sky. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, that like button, all that good stuff. Sorry about the poor quality tonight, but I just wasn't really feeling sitting down in the studio for this one. And don't forget, we're giving away that gift card, $50 for one of our subscribers. So check that out. All you gotta do is subscribe and you're entered to win. But I think that's all I got, guys. So until next time, I'll see you later.